One form. Most veterans rated 30% or higher are sitting on one right now, unsigned. Signed, it's worth $266 a month. And there's an add-on the VA never even volunteers, stacked right on top of that one, worth another $141 a month, and it has nothing to do with your rating. Don't lose that thread. I'll get to it before we're done.
Hi all, I'm Nova, and here's the thing the VA will not do for you. It will not add your family on its own. Not the day you marry, not the day the baby comes. Never. The rating comes through, the check starts, and the system just assumes it's only you. It stays that way until you send in one form that says otherwise.
Fenrir here. Look at how the money actually moves. One document tells them you've got a spouse or a kid. VA Form 21-686C. No form on file, no extra dollar.
This is Erica, and picture who's quietly losing this. The most ordinary military family there is, a spouse and a couple of kids, sitting on an award that never caught up. At the ratings most veterans carry, that's a couple $100 a month. Every single month that form just sits.
Who's fixing that then? The VA doesn't catch its own underpayment?
Nobody. That's the trap in one word. It's yours to claim, or it's gone. The VA will not chase you down to pay you more.
And none of it moves until you tell them. The VA isn't hiding the money. It's just sitting there waiting for one form with your family's names on it.
Now the part that works in your favor for once. File within 1 year of the wedding, or the birth, or the adoption, and the VA pays you back to that date. The clock actually runs your way. Miss that 1 year window and you still get the raise going forward, you just lose the reach back. But hit it, and that back pay can land as a single lump sum, covering every month since the day you said I do.
And if you want the exact 2026 rate tables and the whole dependent checklist before you file, we keep them at va.professorerica.com. Free, no sign up, so you can price your own family out before you touch the form. Nova, the audience keeps asking one thing under every video like this.
They do, and it's the fair one to ask before we go a single step further. Does the VA add your family the moment your rating lands, or have you been underpaid this whole time?
That's the whole ballgame, and it decides whether any of this money is even yours. So before we touch a single dollar figure, one thing has to come first. Who does the VA actually count as your family? Who does the VA count as your family? That's the gate everything else runs through, and if you get it wrong, none of the money is yours. So to walk it clean, I pulled in someone who studies exactly this. Professor Ferreira, welcome to the desk.
Glad to be here. And the very first gate has nothing to do with your family at all. It's your rating. Under 30%, a spouse and 3 kids add exactly 0 to your check. 30% or higher is where dependents start paying you anything.
So start with the spouse, because it's the simplest one. A spouse counts by a regular ceremony, by a valid common law marriage in a state that recognizes it, or by a same-sex marriage. The VA doesn't rank them. Married is married. What it does want is proof. A marriage certificate for a ceremony, and for common law, a signed statement plus records that show you've lived as a married couple. Send that proof with the form, not after it.
Then the children. A biological, adopted, or stepchild who's unmarried and under 18 counts automatically. You don't argue it, you don't prove dependency. Under 18, they're on the list.
And the rule bends for one group most people write off too early. A kid 18 to 23 still counts, as long as they're in school full-time. That one needs a second form, the 21-674, the school attendant request. Miss that form and the VA drops the child the day they turn 18. So the money doesn't stop at 18. It stops if the paperwork stops. Keep the enrollment current, keep the child on the check.
And the one nobody expects. A child who became permanently unable to support themselves before turning 18 stays your dependent for life, no age cutoff. So put the whole thing side by side, because this is where people talk themselves out of money they're owed.
Pin one thing down for me, Ferreira. If somebody married 2 years ago and never told the VA, are they just out that back window, or can they still reach for it?
That's the piece that saves people. Add the dependent within 1 year of the wedding, the birth, or the adoption, and the VA pays you back to that date. Past a year, you still get it going forward, you just lose the reach back. So the move is simple. File it the year it happens.
One honest caveat though, and it matters. Being married or having the kid isn't the same as being paid for them. Nothing here is automatic. The relationship qualifies you. The form is what actually claims it, and until that form is in, the VA is paying you as if you live alone. I've seen veterans assume for years that the marriage they reported to one office somehow reached this one. It doesn't. Different door, different form. And mark the ceiling on all this. Everything Ferreira just laid out is who counts and what it adds. The second it turns into a fight over your rating percentage, that's a different claim entirely and a different conversation.
So here's the verdict, and it's va.gov's, not mine. Spouse, a child under 18, a school kid up to 23, a disabled adult child, and only once you're at 30% or higher. Everything up to now just tells you who. Coming up, what they're actually worth, and for a lot of veterans, that's real money sitting unclaimed right now.
Okay, I have to say it. I've watched veterans skip this exact form for a decade because it felt too small to bother. Let's actually run what small looks like, because it is not small.
Let me set up the receipt and we'll add the family in line by line. Picture a 70% rated veteran, single, nobody else on the award yet. At 70%, a veteran alone gets $1,808.45 a month. That's the whole check.
Now add his spouse, Tiffany. From the same December 1st table, one line on the form pushes the check up $153 a month. He didn't do anything but tell the VA he's married.
Then the first child, another $113 a month, just for a kid who was already his. Watch where this lands.
So the total, that same veteran goes from $1,808 to $2,074.45 a month. Once his spouse and one child are on the award, $266 more every single month for a family he already had.
And remember the add-on I promised you up top? Here it is. If that spouse is housebound or needs the daily aid of another person to bathe, dress, or manage medication, the aid and attendance rate stacks another $141 a month on top, and it has nothing to do with his rating. It's an extra amount for the spouse, not the veteran. That's the small version, by the way. File late, and you'll hear what the calendar does to all of it.
Because the calendar is brutal here. Say a kid's born a couple years after your rating and you just never get around to filing. You still get the bump going forward, sure. But those years of back pay, gone. File within a year of the birth, and the VA pays every month back to the day that baby came home.
All of that runs through one document, and it's less scary than it looks. I mean, it's long, but the boxes that matter are few. VA Form 21-686C. Section 2 is where the spouse goes, legal name and date of marriage. Section 3 adds each child, name and date of birth.
Erica just walked the easy boxes. Here's the trap that quietly costs people the most. They figure the day they got married, the VA basically already knows, so being married is more or less the same as being
Filed? Getting married counts as filing the claim?
no, and that's the whole miss. Being married qualifies you. The form is what claims it. Unfiled means unpaid no matter how long you've been a family.
Right. Married isn't filed.
So here's exactly what to do, and it's one sitting. Go to va.gov, open the Add a Dependent Claim, and file the 686C right there online. You upload the marriage certificate or the birth certificate in the same flow, and the VA timestamps your claim the day you hit submit. No envelope, no waiting room. And do it within a year of the wedding or the birth, so the back pay reaches all the way to the start.
Fenrir, this is the exact form you keep watching people skip. 2 moves, and you're set. 1. If you're rated 30% or higher and you've got a spouse or a kid who isn't on your award, that is money you're owed right now, and it's one form. 2. File it within a year of the event so the VA pays you back to the day it happened.
Which leaves the one I'll hand you. Every dollar we ran today is already yours the moment the form is in. So what's actually keeping you or your family from filing it this week? That's the whole shortcut. The VA already agrees your family is your family. It just needs it in writing. Pull the form, match your dates, and file. One last thing before we sign off. If you are getting real value from these, a like and a subscribe is the best way to support the work. That is exactly what grows the series and keeps these episodes coming. Test the tip before you trust the tip. See you next time.
This is Professor Erica. Thanks for watching and signing off.